Hi, have you ever wondered how astronauts were able to land safely on the moon? As humans plan to explore space, keeping astronauts safe is of utmost importance. In today's activity, we're going to try to land two astronauts safely on a planet. Before we begin today's activity, we need to gather some materials. We're going to need 4 rubber bands, 3 index cards, 3 by 5, cardboard. You can get that from any box, 4 by 5 inches, a small cup, plastic straws. You need 8 of these, a scissor, tape, 8 mini marshmallows, which if you don't use them, you can definitely eat them afterwards, and 2 big marshmallows that will act as our astronauts. So after the experiment, you can definitely eat it if you wish. In order to successfully complete the challenge, let's review the criteria and the constraints before we start. Criteria are things that the design needs in order for it to be successful. It's requirements. For this challenge, the criteria will be to build this lander and to safely land it from a height of 12 inches. So you're going to drop your lander from a height of 12 inches. The constraints or the limitations of this challenge of the design is going to be the materials. You could only use those materials that I mentioned at the beginning that you had to gather. Just like in real life, right? When engineers are creating a design, they have to be mindful of cost, of the materials they're going to use for their solution. So just like in real life, you have to make sure you only use the materials that I said in the beginning of the video. Before you begin building and designing your lander to complete the challenge, it's important to always sketch your design, to kind of brainstorm what you think your design is going to look like. So here is mine. I'm thinking here I'm going to use the straws at the bottom connected to the cardboard, and I'm going to use the mini marshmallows as shock absorbers. And the cup is going to act, it's going to be the part where I'm going to put the astronauts in to safely have them land on the planet. So now after you've gathered the materials and now you know your criteria and your constraints, take the time to sketch your design and then build it. Once you build it, then you can test it, which is a very important part. So here is my design. Just like I said in my sketch, I have the straws here, I have the marshmallows at the bottom, I have my cardboard and my cup to safely put my 2 astronauts in there. And just remember that the astronauts need to safely land on the planet, so they can't, fall out of the cup, because if not, then they're not going to make the landing. So the reason I did this was just for me thinking, I'll put the marshmallows on the bottom to absorb some of that shock that as the lander lands on the surface. And I figured if I put the cup up here, then they can safely be out of harm's way. So let's try it out and see if it works. Now let's try it again. Success. It is always important to test your designs. That way we can see if any improvements need to be made. And we go back and redesign. That's such an important part of that engineering design process, where we began with the sketching, then we went into the building, and then went to the testing, and then made improvements along the way. If humans plan to go deep into space and explore Mars and beyond, and to ensure our safety, a lot of testing, a lot of redesign is going to have to be done in order to be successful. If you really want to take this challenge to the next level, try dropping your lander from a higher height, or even using different materials. Have fun and be well.